In the real estate community, a lot of people are really unaware of the fact that the United States Treasury plays a big role when it comes to short sales. If you would you shed a little light on that for us?
I'd be happy to do that, Brandon. Um, in April of 2009, the US Treasury rolled out a program called Making Home Affordable, which was the administration's response to the housing crisis. And the goal of Making Home Affordable was to provide an alternative to foreclosure and to stop avoidable foreclosures. The sort of linchpin of Making Home Affordable is the Home Affordable Modification, or HAMP, as it's called. We're often referred to as hamsters around here. But HAMP really is a modification program that provides an affordable and sustainable long-term mod for people who have the ability to keep their homes. But as we all know, unfortunately, not everyone does have the ability to keep their homes. Death, divorce, unemployment, those kinds of life events make it necessary for some people to leave their homes. Foreclosure is a pretty draconian outcome. And so finding alternatives to foreclosure that will still allow people to transition with some kind of dignity without the sheriff's sign on the door, without their personal belongings being put on the curb, but to just list their home with a real estate agent and not have the neighbors realize that there's anything different than a move across town or across the country, is really the objective of a short sale. Short sales have been around for a long time, but we wanted to include them in the Making Home Affordable program as one of the foreclosure prevention options. Interestingly enough, our original intent was simply to just pay financial incentives to servicers who would work with their borrowers to do a short sale. But as we were beginning to write some policy around how to do a short sale in the context of this government program, it was actually your industry that came to us and said, please don't do that. Short sales in 2009 were broken. They weren't working at all. On average, it took a minimum of 12 months to complete a single short sale. Borrowers had no idea what the eligibility criteria was. Servicers had no processes in place. Subordinate lien holders held up transactions all the time. They were asking for untenable demands, and it just was broken. So organizations like major real estate firms, NAR, and even servicers themselves came to us and said, please don't just throw money at a broken problem. Please see if you can sit down with us and fix it. So that's what we tried to do with the Home Affordable Foreclosure Alternative, or HAFA. And basically what we did was convene lots of groups of folks, realtors, consumer advocacy organizations, servicers, all kinds of people representing different constituencies. And we worked very closely with Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. They obviously have a huge stake in this and were very early partners in the whole Making Home Affordable program. And we sat down with them and said, all right, so what are the problems? What is it that's preventing short sales from working in the industry today? And we came up with a pretty long list. I'm sure you wouldn't be surprised at all to hear some of the things that were wrong with short sales. And then we said, okay, how do we go about addressing those? And so we set about trying to work through them one by one. How do we have a better process? How do we have standardized documentation so that borrowers know how to apply, that servicers know what to do when they get this request for a short sale? Putting caps and limits on how much subordinate lien holders should be able to expect from a transaction. And most importantly of all, in our minds, was making sure that a borrower who was successful at selling their house in a short sale was released from the deficiency, that they didn't go lose their home and then also have this albatross of a deficiency judgment hanging around their neck for years and years to come. So those were the kinds of things, issues and challenges we were addressing. We came out with our first HAFA program in, I think, about September of 2009. And over the years, we've made a few changes to HAFA, as I'm sure you're aware. We've been accused maybe of over-engineering the first program a little bit. But I think we're really pleased with the result now. It's been, a challenging sell to the industry. Most realtors, as I'm sure you're aware, were not very enthusiastic about doing short sales. So we've had a real challenge on our hands to sort of get the word out and to convince people that this is a good thing. It is an important foreclosure prevention alternative. It's good for the industry. It's good for borrowers. And it certainly has been, we think, well received. So we're excited about it.